Let's talk about shoes. Hot take, most runners don't need a carbon-plated running shoe. They need a great daily trainer, something that's going to carry you through the majority of your mileage that prepares you for whatever it is you're training for. And today we've got 5 of our favorite daily running shoes, the ones that we really recommend, and we're going to be breaking down what you need to know about them. To talk about why a good daily running shoe is so important, I want to hand it off to Ben, our head coach here at Runna. Take it away.
What actually is a daily running shoe? There are so many different types of running shoes out there. We've got everything from trail shoes with a bit more tread through to your carbon shoes, which are going to be your fastest race option, where they've got a bit of a carbon spring to help you run faster, and they're going to be a lot lighter and a lot less durable as a result. But what should we spend most of our time running in? And if you could only have one pair of shoes, what would we recommend going and buying? And that would be a daily running shoe. And this is going to be a nice compromise of everything. It's going to have plenty of cushioning so that you can do your easy runs and you can do your longer runs without kind of challenging your body to the same degree as if you had no support. It's going to have plenty of grip so that it can run across multiple different terrain options, working well on the kind of tarmac and on the pavement, and maybe some gentle trails, but also be hard wearing enough that you can wear it for plenty of miles without having to replace it as well. Ultimately, the one go-to option if you could only have one pair of shoes. And we've narrowed down the best daily running shoe to 5 options, and to call it out, none of the brands have paid us to say this. This is our honest, unfiltered advice. But that's enough of that. Let's get back into the episode.
Thanks for that, Ben. All right, so now that we're all agreed that daily running shoes are awesome, let's drill down into some of the technical terminology that you'll hear us referring to throughout this review. First up is stack height. Quite simply, that means how much foam is between the bottom of your foot and the ground. This is important because it impacts things like cushioning, comfort, ground feel, and how stable a shoe feels to you. Next up is heel to toe drop. This is the difference in height between the heel of your foot and your forefoot when it's in the shoe. This is important because it influences your running mechanics and how a shoe feels when you hit the ground and you toe off again. Next is rocker geometry. This is a very slight curve in the sole of the shoe that's designed to help you roll into each stride. This is important because it helps your running mechanics during your training sessions and helps smooth your strides as you go. Now that we've translated all that jargon, let's dive into the 5 shoes that we recommend and how they measure up to these elements. First up, we have the Nike Pegasus 41. This is just a super reliable daily running shoe that works for the vast majority of runners. And let's talk about why that is. We have the Nike React X foam here going through the body of the shoe. This is that juicy endurance foam that really just carries you through the majority of your mileage. This is Nike's everyday training shoe foam, so it's going to carry you through any kind of training plan you're doing. In the forefoot, we have an air zoom unit, which is actually not foam at all. It's an air pocket that's meant to give you a little bit of spring in your step as you toe off with each stride. As far as weight goes, the Pegasus 41 kind of lands right in the middle of what you would expect for an everyday running shoe, which is part of what makes it so popular. We're working with a 37mm stack height and a 10mm heel toe drop, which lands it right in the middle of the bell curve as far as daily running shoes are concerned. A couple of watch-outs with the Pegasus 41. It's not the softest shoe out there, so if you're looking for something with that super plush feel and more cushioning, this might not be the one for you. Also, it can run a little narrow in the midfoot, so if you're someone with wider feet, you'll want to look for those wider sizes. So who is the Pegasus 41 for? Everyone. This is a super reliable daily running shoe that's just going to work for you and get you through your training. It's got slightly firmer foam, so if you're looking for something that's not too cushioned, that's a great option for you, and it's really good between easy runs all the way through to slightly speedier sessions. Next up is the Clifton 10, one of the softest, most forgiving everyday running shoes out there. Hoka has really become the go-to brand for maximum cushion, softer feel, and the Clifton 10 keeps that reputation rolling. The EVA foam gives it that classic Hoka feel with an early stage rocker to help you roll through every stride. The Clifton has a pretty high stack height, but only a 8mm drop, and we have got that rocker in this shoe, which will give you that rolling motion as you're moving. So for all of the foam going on in the Clifton 10, it's a surprisingly lightweight shoe, which makes it a great springy option for somebody who wants a little bit of balance as they move. In terms of fit, the Clifton runs pretty true to size. That being said, Hoka is kind of known for running a little bit wide in the toe box. That can be a good thing, especially as you're putting in lots of miles. Your feet do swell over time. It's also really good if you have wider feet. As I mentioned, the toe box is spacious up there. So why would you choose the Clifton 10? This is really just a great option for somebody who's looking for a gentle running shoe to carry them through their training. It's super soft. It's great if you're ramping up your mileage and you just want something kind of plush underfoot as you're putting in all of that training. And it's a really good option for people focusing on their recovery runs and that easy run. On the other hand, if you're looking for something that's on the firmer side, the Clifton might not be the best option for you. As I've mentioned, it's a really plush shoe, so if you're looking for something that's going to be responsive as you run, think of the Clifton as more of a marshmallow than a spring. And again, if a wide shoe is not really what you're looking for, then you might want to look elsewhere. But overall, the Clifton 10 is a fantastic, comfort-focused, everyday running shoe, perfect for building up mileage and being kind to your legs. Now let's talk about the Novablast 5, one that I'm really excited to dive into. This is the most energetic feeling shoe in our lineup, and what exactly do I mean by that? I mean, the foam here is going to give you a lot of spring without feeling too firm or too soft. This is a shoe that lands exactly in the Goldilocks zone of bounce. This shoe actually has a pretty high stack height of 41.5 millimeters and an 8 millimeter drop, paired with a moderate rocker to keep those transitions between your strides feeling smooth. Fun fact, the stack of this shoe is technically illegal according to World Athletics, but unless you're planning on going out and winning your next marathon, that shouldn't stop you from giving this shoe a try, especially for your everyday running shoe. So who's reaching for the Novablast 5? Runners who want it all in their everyday running shoe. This is a really good option to carry you through your easy runs, your long runs, all the way onto your track sessions if you want it to. A couple of watch-outs for the Novablast 5. If you are looking for something that is very cushioned and just soft under your feet, you might not like all of the bounce this shoe has to give. And if you have a wider foot, you might want to consider sizing up because the midfoot here does run a little bit narrow. Overall, the Novablast 5 is a fantastic everyday running shoe that's going to make you want to run just that little bit faster. Now let's talk about the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 version 14, which is actually a pretty big departure from the 13 that a lot of runners loved. The ride is soft but not mushy, and it's actually more stable than you might expect with a shoe of a high stack like this. The stack height sits at 37 millimeters and it's got an 8 millimeter drop, so it's going to feel similar to the Pegasus 41 in that respect, but it's the foam that really sets this apart. We're working with Fresh Foam X, which runs on the stable side without compromising any of that cushion or energy that you want from an everyday running shoe. Now, the foam does land it a little bit on the heavy side relative to some of the other everyday running shoes that we've talked about so far, but worry not, it is definitely still workable for your everyday running. The 1080s run pretty true to size, and if you are somebody who has a wider foot, they have got wide options available. The 1080 is best for runners who want a comfortable, high-cushioned everyday running shoe that's still going to feel stable and smooth over longer distances. The only real watch out here is that this shoe isn't super bouncy. It's more about the smoothness and stability of the ride rather than energy return. But overall, the 1080 V14 is a great option that adds smoothness to your runs and does also offer that little bit of stability through all of your training. Last, but by no means least, is the Brooks Ghost 17, one of the most beginner-friendly running shoes out there. It's a really easy shoe to settle into, especially if you're newer to running, and that's because the ride is balanced, it's soft, it's a little bit stable, but you still have that cushion under your foot as you run, and that's all thanks to the foam. The Ghost features nitrogen-infused foam, which is what gives it that squish without feeling too soft and gives you a nice, reliable ride. The Ghost is working with a 36 millimeter stack height and a 10 millimeter drop, which lands it right around the middle of what we would expect for an everyday running shoe. It is slightly on the heavy side, but it makes up for that with added stability and comfort through all of your running. Now, the Ghost runs true to size, but Brooks as a brand is actually known for having one of the widest size ranges out there on the market. You can get this in narrow, medium, or wide options. So who is this shoe for? Beginners, anybody who's looking for that easy running shoe for the everyday. If you're doing walk-run programs or building up your mileage gradually, this is a great option for you. Now, a couple of watch-outs with the Ghost 17. This is not the most energetic feeling shoe. Brooks definitely prioritized comfort and stability in this one. And if you tend to wear a lower drop shoe, this one might take some adjusting. Overall, the Ghost 17 is a super dependable, comfortable everyday running shoe that is perfect for somebody starting the running journey. So that's our lineup, but how do you actually choose the best daily running shoe for you? Well, you can think about it in a really simple way. If you're looking for something super versatile that can handle a little bit of everything in your week and it's going to last you a long time, Nike Pegasus. If you want a running shoe with lots of bounce and energy to bring a little bit more liveliness to your everyday running and training, you want the Novablast. If you're looking for an everyday running shoe with maximum cushion and a little bit of stability mixed in, then you'll want either the Clifton or the 1080. And if you're looking for something that is smooth, beginner-friendly, and has a neutral ride, the Ghost 17 has got you. Cool. So one thing to remember is there's no perfect running shoe for everyone, but there is the right shoe for you. And dialing in what you want out of a daily running shoe is going to make a big difference in your training. All right, that's a wrap on our everyday running shoe roundup. If you try any of these shoes, let us know how you get on in the comments below. We genuinely love hearing from you. And if there's a shoe or a category that you want us to dive into, let us know. Be sure to subscribe to Runna TV so you stay up to date on the latest. If you are just beginning your running journey, check out our Top Tips for Beginners video here. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.